Good afternoon, I'm Gail Teague from Bromsgrove and Redditch Optimists, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Molly Campbell from Droitwich High School. She's 17 and hopes to have a career in journalism, so let's hope.
1588, Lithuania abolished slavery, becoming one of the first nations to do so. 1833, slavery was abolished in all British territories. 1981, Mauritania became the last nation to abolish slavery. But in 2015, there are an estimated 21 million slaves worldwide, and that is 21 million too many. Slavery is a centuries-old practice, and let's be blunt about this, it's unacceptable. The earliest recorded instance comes from 20,000 years ago. We are millennia on from that. Slavery should not still be an issue. Sadly, it is. And of course, we can't talk about slavery without talking about trafficking, because in 2012, it was estimated that 44% of slaves worldwide are trafficking victims, meaning that of 21 million, over 9 million people have been victimised this way. Trafficking is essentially defined as the recruiting and transporting of individuals by means of threat, force, or other forms of coercion, and this can result in slaves for labour, for sexual exploitation, even for organ removal. There are people being tricked into this. There are people who are living in poverty today who, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, will be offered an opportunity to improve their lives, and they will take it. Wouldn't you? The fact is, they will become trafficking victims, and every year between 600,000 and 800,000 people fall victim to this, which means that 2,000 people a day on average are being victimised this way. Evidently, not nearly enough is being done to prevent this. These are people we're talking about. Humans who are all bleeding red with minds and voices of their own, just like you and just like me. What gives anyone the right to do this to them? Some traffickers tattoo their victims to show who owns them. They are branding these people as if they're cattle. This is all happening in the UK too. The NCA said last year that over here we have Romanian victims, Polish victims, victims from the UK, Albanians, Nigerians, Lithuanians. No one's really sure of where it stops or of a number. It could be 2,000, it could be 10,000. What is obvious though is that the UK has just as much of a trafficking issue as the rest of the world does. No one should have to fear that they will become a trafficking victim. No one should have to fear that they will be exploited in any way. No one should have to fear that there is nothing and no one who can help them. We have to change something so that this stops. It is sickening that people are capable of treating others like this. It genuinely is one of the most disgusting, inhumane things people can do to each other, and we cannot stand for it. As helpful as laws are, they don't immediately solve the problem. For example, in the UK, society wasn't immediately free of discrimination when laws gave equal rights to women and to people of all sexualities. Society needed time to catch up and to be reminded of their obligations to each other. Generally, over the last few decades, we have become something of a more tolerant society in these ways. Britain itself abolished slavery in 1808. That is over 2 centuries ago. And yet we as a society, regardless of what's going on in Parliament, are apparently doing nothing to solve this problem. We need to fight for the rights of everyone affected by trafficking because we have been silent about it for far too long. Thank you.